Welcome, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the 5 core principles of women leaders community: invent your own ideal role. We are all trained to pick one option out of given options. I spent my teenage time to prepare for the college entrance exam in Korea. And that was a really, really important thing in Korea. And I still remember my elementary school teacher told us that we only have 10 years until college entrance exam. And you may think it's a long time, but actually it's not. And you should really immediately started to study hard for that. And I was 10 years old. So to me, it was like my entire life one more time again. So of course, it did feel like a really long time. The college entrance exam is all about picking one answer out of 4 given options. And I practiced that for 10 years. And then my life was again choosing out of given options, out of certain number of colleges, which one I'm going to pick, out of the existing subject, which one I want to major, out of all the open roles out there, which one I want to apply as my job. Everything is picking one out of given options that I have. Maybe because we are all trained to pick one out of given options since our childhood, I rarely meet people who think what they want, not in terms of which one I should pick. In industry, I was mentoring and coaching over 200 students and early stage professionals, and they wanted to get career advice from me. And I asked them what is their career goals and dreams so I can help them the best. And their answers are mostly about what kind of company they want to work for, what kind of industry they want to go into, or they want to be promoted, or they want to be a people manager, that sort of things. It's all about titles and ranks and that kind of stuff rather than what they really want to do. So I usually ask them, what can you not do right now that you think you can do once you have that role? That's the point when people start to get frustrated. Because what they really wanted was some kind of tips and help on how to get promoted, how to get good performance evaluations, and how to get good interview so they can get the job they want. But instead, I was asking challenging questions about what they really want in their lives. Only about 2 people could answer what they really want. And it's not really clear. They never say, this is exactly what I want. They are more explaining, this is the kind of thing I want, and describing this way and that way. And they are not really satisfied with their answer. They can feel what they want, but they cannot really describe it. We don't really have the right words. But when there is a options like having this kind of role versus that kind of role, it's clearer for them that which one will help them to get closer to their goals. It's almost like you have in a compass. The compass says you need to go to this direction, but it doesn't really tell you exactly how to navigate turn by turn instruction. So it's different from navigation, but more like you have just compass and trying to figure out how to get to that direction. I see the similar thing as a hiring manager during the interviews. I ask people why they are leaving their current company, and about 98% of people say they don't feel like there is growth opportunities in their company. So I ask those frustrating questions that what is the growth opportunity they are looking for and what they have done so far. And about 90% of them cannot say anything. And about 10% of people can say, like, this is the kind of opportunity I'm looking for. So I try this and try that. And then I decided we don't have opportunity in this company. So I'm looking for something else. Those are the people who knows what they really want and looking for those opportunities, not just next job. So when this job is really aligned with what they want, they usually have a lot more passion and energy, and they are more driver of the project than just telling me what to do and I'll get it done. Definitely a better employee that we want to hire. Everyone knows the importance of having a goal. This is my favorite story of an old man and young man who competed on Who walks the straightest path towards the tree in the far? It was the day after snowfall, so they could measure that by looking at the footsteps on the snow. The young man tried to walk as straight as possible by putting one step out and put the next step right in front of the previous step and keep focusing on making two steps as straight as possible. And the old man looked at the tree and just started to walk, didn't even look at the ground. Who do you think would have more straight path? I'm sure you know the answer. It's the old man. The old man may have walked a few steps off, but they can easily correct to the most straight path and get straight to the tree. While the young man focusing so much on each steps and the straightness between those two steps can start to go off away from the tree quite a bit. And if you think about all the companies you work for, they all have visions. And then they try to make decisions who which one will help them to get to those visions. So it's like a tree. It's like the inner compass. They don't know exactly how to get there. There's no navigation, but they have the goal and they just keep figuring out what path, what steps will help them to get there the fastest by just focusing on the vision. However, as I said, the vision is not necessarily very clear. It's vague, but as long as you go closer to the direction for every steps, sometimes some steps you feel like, oh, I'm going away from the goal, so I'm going to have a next step trying to get closer to it. But as long as you keep looking at your vision and work towards it, even if there is a little bit of zigzag, you will get there. But I see a lot of people don't want to take those steps. You have to take steps and then you feel if you are getting closer or you are getting away from your goal and you can decide what should be the next steps. But I see most of people trying to focus on this was my step, what is best next step that's most parallel from the previous step, just like the young man, rather than keep taking steps and trying to see which one is getting closer, which one is getting off. It's okay if you have usual steps, you can have a little bit off steps, you can even have a misstep. But as long as you keep having those steps, you know if you are going which direction and you can get to your destination faster. When I say invent your ideal role, I'm not talking about creating new titles or getting promoted. I'm talking about creating each steps. You need to keep walking. You need to keep having new steps to know that which direction you are going. Are you getting closer to your goal or are you getting away from your goal? If you just stand there, you don't know. You don't have that feeling. So you have to keep moving. You have to keep creating your steps. But many people give me an impression that they don't want to try those steps. They just want directly jump to the tree somehow. That'd be nice. But I haven't really seen anybody who can actually do that. So if you have to take steps to really know if you're getting closer to it, and it's okay if it's off and if it's not really helping you to get there, as soon as you notice, the next step will be something that help you to get there. And remember, you can always go a little bit around. There is some obstacles, then you go around it. But at least you know that you are going around right now versus you just started to turn direction and just keep going to the off direction. You will end up very different places. After working for the same role for a few years, a lot of people say they are bored and they want some change. And those changes are typically external, like new project, new function, new company, but they might not be the best steps towards your goal, your tree, because that's more about the next step compared to the previous step and trying to make as straight as possible, like the young man's approach. I suggest you to have more old man's approach. Focus on what you really want. And I know you cannot get all of them right now, but what aspect of the things you want can you apply in your current role? And make small experimentation, make small changes, make a small side project, make small things that you can learn and experiment and keep growing. And that helps you to get to your goal closer. I once worked for a workaholic leader. And it was really challenging to have any kind of work life balance. It was really tough, and I really wanted to leave the team so many times. But every time I was thinking about it, a thought comes up to me. What if I go to another company and there is another workaholic leader? Maybe workaholic leader was not there when I got the job, but they can always come and then become the leader and then change the culture again. Then what do I do? Run away again? Get another job? Will I going to be keep running away from those people? So I wanted to try some of the ideas people say that you can do to improve your work-life balance. And I tried that. It seems like it was working for a few weeks, but then it reverted. Everything was back to normal. And I was stressed. And then I had another idea. What if I do this? And then I tried. Seems like it was working and helping a little bit, but it didn't at the end. And those are the times that I started to think, okay, I tried everything I did. I'm going to leave. But then a new idea comes up. It's like, okay, I'm going to try this one. And if this one doesn't work, then I'm going to leave. And I would keep doing that for about 3 years. And suddenly I realized I'm not afraid of workaholic leader or high demand teams. I can push back and I can control my workload. I can keep the work life balance. That's enough for me. This was not the most relaxing work balance I'm talking about, but the level that I could tolerate, the level that I could enjoy. So, what is your ideal role? What is the role you want to experiment with next?